Hello and welcome to this episode of
The Guinness Guys.
Now this week what we're doing is we're going to be drinking another black and tan. Now there are three ways to prepare a black and tan. First is with Smithwick's, which is the black and tan that I would know traditionally. Then there is preparation with Bass Ale, which we haven't done yet but we will be doing. And the third way is with a can of Harp.
When you ask most people about black and tan, they usually think of Harp with Guinness.
They do. It's a lot of Americans think of Harp and Guinness. Just to introduce the beers here, Harp Lager. This is made in Northern Ireland. This is 4% alcohol by volume.
And Guinness is 4.2.
That's the usual 4.2. So, as always, as is tradition, I pour the guest beer first. So, got my Harp glass here from many years ago. That's what I have there.
I think when it comes to Harp as a lager itself, I always find it a nice kind of pleasant lager. It's not too aggressive on the carbonation. It's got a nice even taste in regards to hops and in regards of, say, bitter.
It is quite nice, yeah. Harp is relaxed. The thing I'm looking forward to about this is that the Harp doesn't use any rice in the brewing like the Budweiser did, so hopefully it'll be better. I'll let you pour that there. Now there's been a lot of head foaming up as is usual. Now initially there was not a mixing of the two, but there seems to be quite a lot of mixing happening now. So I don't know that we're going to get the usual layer at the bottom that we've come to expect with the lighter beers. You got a nice layer there, but you can see it's going to be difficult to pick up on the camera, but there's definitely a lot of swirling mix happening there. Got quite a creamy head on mine, I think, but see if we can get the rest of this in here. Now, this may be quite like the Black and Trash we had a couple of weeks ago, but I'm hoping this will be a distinct improvement on that. A lot of off-gassing here from the Harp. Keep a little more in here, so. The head's pretty light. The beer itself is pretty light as well, pretty light mixture. I got a bit of spilling here, we'll clean that up in a minute. Is that everything?
Yeah.
So you're going to just squeeze the last drops out of this can without making a further mess. Anyway, after I get this cleaned up, we'll be back in a minute to taste the black and tan. Now, we'll get on to the tasting of this, the black and tan made with Harp. Now, first off, it's a lot clearer than I thought it would be. We don't have that layering we've had with others. I mean, the beers are what, 4% and 4.2, so they're very evenly matched. So that's probably why they're mixing so much.
There's a great ruby colour on mine.
Oh yeah, very red. Almost looks like a pint of Smithwick's or a pint of Bass, actually. Looks quite a lot. But the head is huge on mine.
Yeah. Very
Guinnessy, but with occasional large bubbles.
Yeah. Mine has got that kind of yeasty thing going on, I think.
A little brown.
I'd say that's because of the mixing of the two.
Yeah, that's just the Guinness. So see, we got a smell test on this black and tan. There's a lot of that Harp smell coming through right away.
Yeah, there's a great hop oil in it.
Hopness, definitely hoppiness there. Very foamy. I mean, a lot of the smell is caught up in the head, so probably able to smell it a little better when we get done. It's great mixing. The head retention is like perfect. I mean, I poured this a minute ago and then sorted everything out, but looked great. They've
almost pretty much stayed the same. I mean, when it comes to heads, sometimes with pints it will go down slowly over time, but these have pretty much stayed.
Yeah, the head's sticking around there. It's like a big marshmallow on top of the pint. Look at that.
Not a lot of bitter though that you expect from the Guinness. It's mostly the Harp smell, I find.
Yeah, there's not a lot of Guinnessy smell here. Alright, let's give these a taste.
Alright. That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's interesting. It's a very different taste from the Black and Trash.
Mm.
There's a definitely a very solid mixing between the two here. I mean, one is relatively indiscernible from the other at this point. There, it's entirely the same pint now.
Yeah.
This has formed less of a black and tan and more a black tan, or red tan, if you will.
I'd say the main taste is the kind of hop from the harp, but there's a lot of kind of heaviness to the taste as well coming from the Guinness.
Yeah, the mouthfeel is definitely bulked up by the Guinness. The bitterness, though, isn't...
Not as prominent, no.
Not as prominent, no. The harp has knocked a lot of the bitterness out of this.
I think this is just a tiny amount better aftertaste I'm getting.
Yeah, after a minute you get a little bitter happening there.
It's more of a kind of, I want to say yeasty smell because it looks a lot like the homebrew stuff.
It does look like some homebrew head, actually, yeah. But that's just, I think, from the off-gassing of the harp, and then you're adding the brown Guinness to it, so that's just what did that to the head, but the head's sticking around. Right, we better get on to scoring this then. And seeing as you scored first last week, I'll score first this week.
Okay.
Out of 5 for the taste of this. It's certainly an interesting taste. It seems that there's a very good balance.
Yeah.
Because with the Black and Trash, the Budweiser was, you know, powerful one minute and then down the next and up, and then the Guinness was up and down, and they kept kind of interfering with each other. But this is quite nice. This is a well balanced. The whole pint is one pint. You know, it doesn't really taste like a mixture. It tastes like a new kind of pint. So I think I'm going to give this one a. Now, I'm not that big on the taste of this. The taste is interesting, but I still think I want to give it a 3 out of 5. Because while I like the taste, it's not an incredible taste. You know?
Well, I do like the taste. I like the mix so far of the hop oil from harp and the bitter from Guinness. So I'm going to give the taste a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Now, the scoring for the combo. How does the combo work? Well, it's completely contiguous. It is one pint all the way through. It looks like a pint of some other beer. And it doesn't look like a mix at all. It looks like... I think the mix has worked incredibly well.
Yeah. I think with the similar alcohol content, the taste is very well balanced. I mean, there's not an aggressive bitter from the Guinness so far, or a kind of a lager bitter that you get sometimes. So I think for the combo, I would give it a 4 out of 5 again.
4 out of 5 for the combo. I'm going to agree with you there. I mean, this has worked. You know, actually, I think I might give this a 5 for the combo. I mean, while I may not be crazy about the taste of this, there's certainly an incredible balance between the two. They work out very well. So as a combination, it's going to be 5 out of 5.
I say just a one last note on the combo. It's a very kind of even drink as well. I mean, the way that they've mixed together so far, and the way that they taste, but also the way they look as well.
It does look like a nice big ruby red pint, like a light red. Possibly lighter in colour than the Smithwick's, but also kind of darker. It's darker by the amount of light it lets through, but it's lighter in colour, if that makes any sense. Which it probably doesn't, but get another taste here. Now, on to comparing them with the other ones we've done, which have been the Blacksmith, the Black and Trash, and the Eclipse. These are the other Black and Tans we've done in the series, the Guinness cocktails. Well, we kind of have two benchmarks here. We have the Blacksmith as the high water mark, and we have the Eclipse from last week as the low water mark. So, how does this compare to the others? Well, it's kind of hard. It's definitely better than last week.
Yeah. I'd say if you were to compare it to the Blacksmith, it's much lighter, brought up by the harp. But I do like that. It's a nice even pint, and I would definitely drink it again.
I would probably drink this again too. I mean, I said when we were doing the Black and Trash that I can understand why people add lager to their Black and Tan. And I really can. I mean, I was looking forward to this because I thought this would be interesting because people think of this as a Black and Tan. So I really wanted to try it, something that was the kind of archetypal black and tan. So I'm really quite happy with this. I think this has been a success.
Mm.
So I think compared to the others, I'm going to have to give it a 4.
Mm.
I'm quite happy with this. I mean, the taste is not necessarily my thing, liking heavier, sweeter beers, but the taste is good, the combo was great, and compared to the others, it stands up well.
Mm.
So 4 out of 5 for me, for compared.
Well, I would say compared as well that I'm very satisfied with this pint. I still can't get over as well that there's still a kind of yeast smell as well when I swirl it. Purely because of the harp. Maybe because of the hop oil and harp and the bitter and Guinness have kind of balanced out and brought out the yeast, I think. So
I don't know if it's brought out of yeast. I think it's just a kind of a homebrewy smell. A little bit of a homebrewy smell to it, as opposed to a big yeasty thing. I mean, it doesn't smell like the Eclipse, which had yeast in it.
yeah,
But I think it smells a little like homebrew.
yeah. But overall, I'm very satisfied with this pint, and I think it's held up well. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 as well.
4 out of 5 for the compare. I'll add up the scores.
Okay. So for the scores for the Black and Tan with harp, I've scored 12 out of 15, and David has also scored 12 out of 15.
We both scored 12 out of 15. I think we're both pretty much in unison with this. It's very good. This is definitely one on the list if you're interested in black and tans, or if you're just interested in something for a change with your Guinness or your harp. Definitely try this.
I would recommend this.
Yes, definitely would recommend this. Anyway, that about wraps it up for this week. So we will see you next week on
The Guinness Guys.